All right. Welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, once again joined by Andrew Garganese, Mike Rossi, and Joey G Money Janolfi. And Joey's in a winter wonderland. Winter wonderland, Joey. How's it?
Chilly,
Yeah.
chilly over here, Doug. We're fighting through
We
the
had
tundra.
we had a tornado last week, a blizzard this week. Apparently, Rhode Island's all over the place.
Wild, man.
All over the map.
F2 tornado.
Crazy.
We don't get that here.
No.
All right.
I was playing golf in it.
So today we're going to be talking buy or sell, but first I want to talk about the draft that we were all just in, my draft that I run, and all four of us were in it, and it was pretty wild, to the point where, I was talking to some of you guys about it, and it's like you can mock draft all you want, but shit hits the fan when it's actually real life.
The mock drafts that we've been doing, and I felt so confident, like this is who I'm going in. I'm getting this guy here. It's impossible to do a mock draft and get a good grasp of who's going to be available. And that's why we always say know your league. But we knew this was a crazy league, and it still was crazy to think of who got drafted where.
I didn't know this was a crazy league. I joined whatever it was this week. Don't know anybody in it besides you three. And I saw some things. I saw some things I've never seen before. It was different. It was fun.
Some interesting strategies.
My game plan went and was a complete pivot on that day.
Yeah, it's easy to go full tilt.
I had to.
You abandoned all of your go get your guy out the window.
Everything's Joe said on this podcast right out the window during the draft.
I mean, those guys
probably
threw
win
me a Randy Johnson slider that day, and I was not ready for it.
It was different.
It was very different.
But it just goes to show you, we do this podcast, we do a ton of mock drafts, and you still aren't always prepared.
I don't think you can be. I think actually, and I was saying this to Mike earlier, I think they can almost be a hindrance to you to a certain degree because you get so focused and locked in on these are the guys that are going to be here in this round. Not the way it's going to be. You're going to have to adjust.
And one thing that we probably didn't take into consideration when doing this podcast is some of the people in that league they were listening. They've been listening to us, and they know our guys that we're reaching for, and they reached harder.
I have people on my roster in that league that I have never taken once in a mock draft. Like
J.K. Dobbins never took him.
I almost had him too. But yeah, I got like David Montgomery. I'm like, I don't even know. Some crazy pick. I don't know. Just people I never thought I would have. But every draft's different.
It was fun.
People were picking for trades, man. People were picking for trades later in the year. It was crazy.
People were picking early
draft
for
combine.
trades.
Yeah, the draft
backup quarterbacks for trades.
Exactly. What, the first like 4 rounds, there was one of the teams picked 2 quarterbacks. Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Back of the 4th round, I had picked 2. So coming back to me at the end of the 4th round, there was Trevor Lawrence was gone already. Like all the quarterbacks that I've been drafting and they've been there, they were gone.
It's a 6 point for passing touchdown though. So let's throw that out there. That helps a little bit justify the madness, but still, yeah,
it does, but that's what forced you to kind of punt those 2 positions, Mike. And we kind of all busted on you saying that you went full tilt because you did that, but it's because they went so quick.
Yeah, and
those 2 positions being tight end and quarterback.
Well, he went full tilt because he couldn't tell colors, is what it was.
Well, I mean, I accidentally passed on a quarterback thinking the guy had one already, but yeah, that was a bad strategy for sure.
Yeah, don't use that one. That doesn't work. All right. Well, we have the draft combine. Andrew was just mentioning that I loved. That was a Mike Rossi idea. He kind of put it all together.
Well done, Doug, by the way. Congratulations on your time.
I was the winner of it. I got lucky hitting the far chair with the football, but that was fun. I think we're going to do it again next year. I think we're going to do 2 heats next year. 2 heats, best score. It went fast.
I like that.
Yeah. So we'll do that next year. And if you want to check it out, it's on the Instagram page, right? Mike, what's the Instagram page?
The People's Fantasy Football.
All right. All right. Let's do the buy or sell. You guys ready to get going, or you want to keep on talking?
No,
Nah,
let's
let's
go.
Get
into
it
it.
going.
All right, let's get it rolling. All right. So for our first buy or sell, Nick Chubb, is he going to have at least 40 plus catches? Last year, his career high is 36 catches, which happened in 2019. He had 27 last year. So buy or sell, Mike. Buy or sell that.
Well, I mean, the whole offseason, you've heard stories of they're going to throw the ball to Nick Chubb a little bit more, right? And they got rid of Kareem Hunt. So obviously without him there, that's automatic. And Jerome Ford became the guy that's going to catch the balls if it's not Nick Chubb. First of all, to start the season, Jerome Ford's hurt. So he's out at least week 1 is what they're saying. Could be a little longer. So if he's out, Nick Chubb is going to get the dump offs from the start. But even besides that, when you look at Deshaun Watson and you look at what he's done throwing to running backs in the past, his last year in Houston, 2020, his running backs were David Johnson and Duke Johnson. Granted, they're receiving backs, but they caught 61 passes on 81 targets. And before that, they had Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde, 54 catches on 78 targets. So Deshaun likes to throw to the running backs. It's something that he's always used. And when you look at what he did last year, 27 catches, 1 more catch a game, I'm buying it all day, saying Nick Chubb is going to end up with 40 plus.
All right. What do you think, Joe?
So 40 is like the line for me. I think this was a perfect number that we came up with because I've been torn going back and forth. But I think it's going to be just below the 40 number. So I am selling him going over 40. I don't see it with Nick Chubb. I do think he's going to be more involved in the passing game, but still not to that extent. And I think, yes, Ford's hurt right now. He's more explosive, though. He's got a similar Duke Johnson vibe to him in the passing game he could have. And that's who Deshaun Watson went to even when he was in Houston. Deshaun wasn't throwing to David Johnson. David Johnson had low reception numbers in his years there. And he always had a third down back that he felt more comfortable throwing to. And that's why I think Chubb still stays under that 40 mark.
And full disclosure, Joe, you just picked Nick Chubb in my draft, correct?
I did.
So you
Yep.
hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong, but again, his career high is in, what was it, 36, 35?
36,
He was
yeah.
36
like that,
in
36.
2019. Yeah.
So if he's around his career high, I'll still be happy. I took Nick Chubb because I think Nick Chubb is going to be probably the top running back rushing wise in the league. I think he's going to be in competition for the rushing title.
All right. Andy, where you at in the buy or sell?
I'm selling. I love Nick Chubb. I just don't think he's going to get there, even with the extra game or whatever. I think that this is probably Deshaun's best receiving group. I know he doesn't have prime DeAndre Hopkins. No one there is. But DPJ, Elijah Moore, Njoku, Amari Cooper, they got a strong offensive line. And, Deshaun likes to break the pocket. He's going to keep plays alive. He's going to extend. I think that's good for those good route running, fast wide receivers, athletic tight end. I think a lot of targets are going downfield. And Nick Chubb, Joe just said it, Nick Chubb's the best, probably pure runner in the game, right? It's him or it's Derrick Henry. It's one or the other. He's going to get plenty of, food on the ground. He's not going to, they don't need him in passing situations. What he does very well. He's going to run off that strong offensive line, and he's just, he's going to get his carries. He's going to get a yard on the ground, and I think passing is just not for him. Catching the ball, he's just not going to be in those situations.
Yeah, he's a stud running back. Always has been. I'm going to go with buy, and it's mainly because Kareem Hunt's gone, and I don't think Deshaun Watson is the same quarterback he once was. They say he's looking like trash in training camp right now, and I think he's going to want to dump down quite a bit to Chubb. But so yeah, I'm gonna go buy on it. Also, Deshaun Watson, like back when he was, a good quality quarterback, he did, like you were saying, he liked to kind of the play would get broken up and he would go deep to Will Fuller or D Hop, I don't know if he's got those guys right now. Maybe Amari. I don't know.
I was
PJ
Elijah Moore
was
not in that
great.
category.
Donovan Peoples-Jones stats
Yeah.
last year were pretty wild on
Well,
on the deep routes.
Yeah, I
Elijah
think
Moore
both
hasn't
those
done
guys are
anything in
that
the league yet.
category.
Elijah Moore, what has he done?
No, he
Show
hasn't
me.
proven himself.
Yeah.
Who's
show
he
me.
had for a quarterback?
But Doug, he did just say, if you're not drafting me in fantasy, you're making a mistake. That's his
Oh,
quote.
all right. Well,
So you're going to regret it. That's what he said. Yeah,
I
Did
changed
you
my
listen
mind.
to that, Mike? You listened to that, didn't you?
of course.
These guys, man, all of them now. Pickens, the best receiver of all time.
Greatest
It's a
ever do
diva
it.
position, man. That's wide receiver and DBs. They're all diva positions.
they
They
sure
need all
are.
the attention.
Sure.
I mean, I think Peoples Jones and I think Elijah Moore are actually ideal for that type of quarterback, scrambling and giving them more time to run around. But
We'll see. We'll just have to see. All right. So 2 buys, 2 sells on that one. Next question. Christian Watson. Will he finish as a wide receiver 2? Last year he finished as a wide receiver 36. With not much playing time, right? Mike, you threw out those stats earlier. I can't remember exactly what you said. Go
I
ahead.
don't remember the numbers. It was like 600 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, his efficiency levels were ridiculous last year. They're probably not going to be the same this year without A-Rod throwing him the ball. But so buy or sell, will he finish as a wide receiver 2, top 24 in the position? Joe, why don't you lead us off on this one?
so I liked Christian Watson last year. I picked him up right before he went off. I thought the speed, he had a lot of potential. I just hate Jordan Love. Like, I don't like anything about him in college. I don't understand what the hype was about him coming out. I have Christian Watson ranked right at 25, but to me that was pretty much his ceiling. So I'm selling this because I think it's probably going to end up on that lower side, and I'm not confident jumping up on it.
All right. Mike, where you at?
I'm buying it. Barely buying it. I'm not going to say he's going to be a wide receiver 1 or anything close to it, but I have him ranked as my 25th wide receiver, so my rankings tell me I should sell. But I think Christian Watson's the type of player that Andrew, we talked about this in previous episodes with Michael Pittman. He's going to come out, he's going to get 150 one game, and then he's going to disappear in some other games. And that's just the style of player he is. He's either going to hit that long ball and get you, the 60-yard touchdown. But he's not going to be the target guy. He's not going to come over and have 125, 135 targets on this offense. So I think the inconsistencies make it so I'm not going to pick him as a wide receiver 2, but where he'll fall because of the blow up games, I think he'll fall as a wide receiver 2. So I'm buying.
Andy, where you at?
I'm borderline with these guys too. I think wide receiver 27 on my rankings. So obviously, like, the potential is there. Like, he's not far off. It's not wide receiver 4 or anything. But I'm gonna sell. And it's more, I just don't know what that offense is gonna look like. Really, like the Jordan Love Packers. It's definitely not gonna be the Aaron Rodgers Packers. So how much throwing they're gonna do, how many targets he's gonna get, I'm just a little unsure of. So I'm basically fading all the pass catchers in Green Bay a little bit. I'm taking both the running backs, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are a little bit higher because of this. But yeah, I don't know. I've watched Jordan Love play, and I'm not impressed. I mean, obviously he's got a skill set. Can he put it together? I don't know. So I'm fading for now.
Yeah, we'll see if he has it in him or not. I'm gonna buy because Jordan Love has been there 3 years now. I think is he
More?
going into his 4th year?
I think this is 4.
Something like that. Yeah. So he's been in that offense for a long time. And like you guys were saying with Christian Watson, he doesn't need too much, right? So he can have that 152 touchdown game now and then, and that might just push him into the low 20s there. But so anyways, let's go on to the next one. Let's talk Zeke. Let's talk Patriots. So we got him at a at least 5 touchdowns. Buy or sell. Zeke's going to have at least 5 touchdowns. Last year he had 12 touchdowns. That was on 231 carries though. Last year on the Patriots, Damian Harris was in his role and had just 3 touchdowns. So, Andy, why don't you start this one out?
Awesome. Obviously, I hope he does nothing. But I think that their offense is going to be. I think Belichick said something along the lines they're going to get back to that early 2000s type team. I think they're going to play slow. They got a good defense. I think they're going to use the ground game a lot, maybe a couple dump offs. I can see Zeke's role getting him over to maybe that's 6-7 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to have a lot, but I don't see them moving the ball a lot downfield. Pop shots here and there, but I think they're going to be slow, steady. I think Zeke's going to be underwhelming, maybe yardage, but he's going to have a few receptions. He might get 1 or 2 receiving touchdowns. He'll probably get 3-4 on the ground. So I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna take the over just slightly, as much as that pains me to say.
I know it's hard as a Bills fan, but it's kind of the role that Zeke was in last year. So, and he had 12. Joe, where you at?
I mean, I'm buying this. I think Patriots just need to run the ball and just keep running the ball and do nothing but run the ball. Pretty much play it like you played the Bills last year. I don't believe in Mac Jones. I don't think their wide receiver options have gotten good enough to throw the ball more in the red zone. And I think there's plenty of touchdowns to go around with Stevenson and Zeke, I think, for how this team can run the ball, scheme to run the ball. And I think 5 is, I think that's going to be an easy number for Zeke to beat.
Mike?
Can I push? Is that 5 is like
No.
where I think he's going to be?
No.
Well, you came up with a number, Mike. So
I know. Yeah.
It's true.
You should have made him
I did.
decimal.
I'm going to sell on this one. And Doug, to be completely honest, I forgot that I sent to you those numbers that you read off in the beginning, because that was my argument. And you just read them off before I even had a chance to talk.
So your argument was Damian Harris only having 3, basically?
Yeah, Damian Harris had this role last year. He had 106 carries, so it's not like it was nothing. And he had 3 touchdowns. I mean, we can talk about how Belichick wants to run the ball. He wants the slow ground game going. But when you're in a division with the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets with power offenses, they might be able to do that for quarter 1. But to keep up the pace, they're going to have to pass the ball. And I don't see Zeke being the guy that's going to. He might have 1 or 2 receptions for touchdowns, but I don't see it being his game. I think Ramondre's still going to be the guy there. When you look at Zeke's contract that he signed, it's actually only $3 million in cash. So it's not like it's a huge contract. They don't have to use him. They signed him. They're going to use him a little bit near the goal line, but not enough to get him 5 touchdowns.
All right. I think it's going to be an easy 5 personally. I'm kind of with Andy on that. It's mainly because I don't think Ramondre is that good of a goal line back. He hasn't been. Efficiency wise, he's been terrible. He fumbles the ball inside the 5 from time to time. So I don't think it matters about them being a run game, like you're saying, Mike. I think it's just when they get close to the goal line, Zeke's going to come in. So whenever they're close to the goal line, it's going to be Zeke's time. So I think he's going to easily get at least 5 touchdowns and probably upwards of 10 when it's all said and done.
Ooh.
So
Well,
I'm with
well,
you. I'm
what
with
did-
you, Doug. I think the scheming with Bill O'Brien is going to be a lot different than Matt Patricia, especially in the red zone area.
Well, you talked about Damian Harris having 3 touchdowns last year. I think he had
Year
like
before.
12 or something 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and Zeke had 12 touchdowns last year too, but that was on 231 carries. And Damian Harris's 12 the year before was when Ramondre wasn't the guy yet. So I'm not using Damian Harris's numbers because that was his year to be the starter. And if you give Zeke 231 carries, yeah, he can get double-digit touchdowns, but he'd be lucky. He's going to be around 100 carries. And on this offense, I don't think you have as many opportunities as he did in Dallas, and not as good of an offensive line.
again, I don't care about the carries because he might have 100 carries, but 80 of those are going to be inside the 5-yard line. So
Yeah, I'm on the same way.
They'll be
Mike,
lucky
as
to
you
have
guys.
80 plays inside the 5-yard line.
I'm kidding. All right.
Rossi
All
just
right.
doesn't believe in defensive close games either anymore. Niners were his best team, and he thinks they're going to be in all explosive games, and he thinks the Patriots defense can't contain any offenses.
Yeah.
That division is just stacked on offense. I'm not saying they can't contain any offenses, but when are you going to realize this is an offensive league, Joe?
I don't think the Patriots get
Belichick
blown out
hasn't.
in too many divisional games. Usually their divisional games are pretty close.
Yeah, unless it's in the playoffs.
Usually.
And when they don't have Tom Brady. Andy. All right, let's go to the next one. Anthony Richardson. Buy or sell. He's going to finish the season as a top 12 quarterback. Andy, what do you think?
About 5 hours ago, I would have said borderline sell, but Jonathan Taylor just got permission to seek a trade. So if that gets done, I am buying this because Anthony Richardson is going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to be running for his life on every play. He's got, we talked about this earlier. Well, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but they have no talent. That team has no offensive skill whatsoever. He's going to have the ball and he's going to look around and go, fuck, I got nothing to do. And he's just going to take off like Mike Vick. Like this is it. So his 12% completion percentage, I'm not going to care about because he's going to have 1,200 yards on the ground. They're terrible. And he's going to have all this fantasy. It's going to be like having a running back because that's where he's going to get all of his fantasy value.
Mike, I tend to agree with everything you said, by the way. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, I'm buying. When you look at, I mean, first of all, everything Andy said, Daniel Jones last year ended up as the quarterback 9 in fantasy with 15 passing touchdowns. 15 touchdowns. That's not even one a game. It's disgusting. But he's a quarterback 9 because he ran the ball for 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, Anthony Richardson, he's getting the start week 1 now. We already know this. He's in there for 17 games. He's surpassing 700 yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. I think it's an easy buy as a top 12 quarterback at this point.
All right, Joe.
Sell.
Joe hates quarterbacks, dude. Joe hates every quarterback we talk about.
Nobody good on this offense to play with him. You play zone, you spy him, you do anything not to let him run because it's the only thing this offense can possibly do against you.
Don't you think they tried that against the Bears?
I think Justin Fields I think he's faster and a little more athletic. Anthony Richardson's bigger, yes, so he'll maybe be able to break more tackles. He's not as fast. He's not going to run for 80-yard plays like Justin Fields could. I don't see that happening, and I think the Bears had more talent on offense than this freaking Colts team. There's no running game to go with him if Jonathan Taylor is gone. Yes, Michael Pittman is a good NFL wide receiver and is a number 1 receiver with a guy who can throw the ball. But I'm challenging him to throw all day, and I will let him run around in that backfield for however long he wants. I'm not rushing more than 4 against him, and let him dance around. There's nobody that's going to get open on this offense.
Okay. This has been a good argument here. I like it. It's I buy this all day long. I'm with Mike and Andy on this one. His floor is so high because of his rushing abilities that if he's healthy for all 17 games, he can't not be a top 12 quarterback. It's going to happen. And Joe, about like his rushing abilities and everything, I believe they said he was the most athletic quarterback to ever work out the combine.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the best 40, I'm sure.
No, I don't think speed, which was Joe's argument, but I think he did rate is like the highest on the.
Yeah, dude's an athletic
on the athletic
don't get me
scale,
wrong.
whatever it
He's
is.
big, he's muscular, he can break tackles probably. He's not going to run for an 80-yard play. Not happening.
All right.
Is there a chance that we're underestimating him as a thrower? Like I don't think he's going to be good, but Justin Fields.
I don't think there is.
Justin Fields
actually.
for like 2,200 yards. Like
yeah, but I think Fields is actually better. I think Fields is a better passer.
Threw well in college.
I don't know.
This kid threw terrible at Florida.
Right, he was like 50%.
Every quarterback that goes to Ohio State has crazy stats though, throwing the ball, like college matters. I know he still went to Florida, but Ohio State's different, man.
I'm not. Florida's down there hasn't been a great team in some time. They haven't competed for a national title, but they still have had good offenses. Kyle Trask was a much better passer than him in college. Like he put up good numbers passing. It's. I'm not. I'm selling.
All right. Again, I don't think he needs to pass, but let's get on to the next one. Let's get out of college. All right, Allen Lazard, more fantasy points than last season. Buy or sell? Last year he had 60 receptions for 788 yards, 6 touchdowns, which made him wide receiver 32. This might have been Mike's argument because he sent me those notes.
No, it's not. No, I got more.
Okay. So buy or sell, Joe? Allen Lazard.
So I'm buying bigger numbers. So I think that with Garrett Wilson on the other side, it's going to draw more attention away. I think he's still a big touchdown threat, and Aaron has a lot of confidence in him in the red zone. But I see him having more in that 70 range this year, some more yards, and I think he could have big touchdown numbers if Garrett Wilson's getting all that coverage and those double teams. Because he's still got the hands, and I think Rodgers still has a lot of trust in him.
Okay, Andy, where you at with it?
Yeah, I think this was my toughest one. I went back and forth on this. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell, and the only reason I'm selling is, well, 2 things. The Dalvin Cook signing makes me think that maybe they're gonna run the ball a little bit more than I was anticipating. Maybe it's because Breece Hall is quite ready. I don't know, but I'm fully buying Garrett Wilson everything. So I think his target share is going to be through the roof. And I mean, Lazard had good numbers like he had a good year last year. So for him to repeat that, good. He's got the trust of A-Rod, but I don't think he's going to do better than that. So I'm going to sell.
Okay, Mike.
I'm selling. Rodgers brought him over from Green Bay for a reason. So obviously he likes Lazard, right? He wanted him on his team. But he was Rodgers' number 1 target last year in Green Bay. Christian Watson, again, he broke out in some games, but he did it later and he wasn't the number 1 go-to guy. Lazard had 100 targets last year, and that was Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. You put them together now with Garrett Wilson, and you see this rapport they're building. I mean, they have the smoke in the joint little handshake thing that they're doing, and they're all buddy. I just think Garrett Wilson, he's gonna break out. I said that earlier, and Lazard just isn't gonna get enough targets to get him to wide receiver 32.
All right. It's hard going last because you guys have all your arguments, and then I just have to kind of pick it up from there. But yeah, I'm gonna sell this one as well. I think there's too many mouths there. With the Cook signing, they got Corey Davis there, McCole Hardman's there. I forgot that he was even there. Not that he's gonna be doing too much, but yeah, he was the number 1 receiver last year, like you said, Mike, and those aren't huge numbers. So I don't think he's gonna get better than what he did last year, unless he's just the touchdown target for that team, and that could be the case. But all right, next one, Mike Evans. Will he once again have 1,000 plus yards? He's done it in all 9 of his NFL seasons, which is super impressive.
Does anybody know off the top of their head what Jerry Rice's record is for most consecutive?
Well, I think Mike Evans just came out and said that that's a big goal of his, right? Is to break that record.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is, Mike? And you're just asking? Or?
No, yeah,
13.
I was just asking. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I was wondering how close he was because he said that.
I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you go first, then let Doug look it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going first.
You're going first.
Oh,
All right. So again, all 9 seasons over 1,000 yards. I know there's a battle between Baker and Trask. To me, I don't care who it is that wins this job. I'm buying it. Obviously, last year they threw the ball more. We say it every week, but 733 or 703 pass attempts that Brady had, and Evans he had 18% target share on those pass attempts. This year, I mean, Russell Gage is already out for the year. They lost Fournette, which was a big part of their passing game out of the backfield. So that's shares that are gone. And I don't think they replaced it with anybody. So no matter who the quarterback is, I think Mike Evans, the pass attempts may go down, but his volume of passes coming his way are going to go up. And I think last year he played 15 games and still got over the hump of 1,000 yards. So I don't care who it is at quarterback. I think he's going to go up and he's going to get the ball. He's so consistent. Well, actually, he's not consistent, but he's so consistent of getting over 1,000 yards that how could you sell this?
Yeah. That is the funny thing about him is he's not a consistent weekly player, but he consistently gets over 1,000 yards every
Exactly.
year.
Yeah.
So bizarre. But so Jerry Rice did it for 11 years in a row. So it's within reach.
11, he's close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's within reach because he did it for 11 and then he must have gotten hurt and only got 78 yards and 97. And then he went over 1,000 again in 98. What a freaking career.
They should count that as 12. I wonder if they do because he got hurt.
No, that can't be counted as 12.
Why not? He's the greatest. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. All right, Joe, where you at with it?
I hate to do this, but I am selling it. I think this is the year you lose Tom Brady. He's had 4 of the years that were just barely over 1,000 yards. I think this division is very weak offensively, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of point scoring in divisional games. So for those reasons, I'm selling it. I don't believe in either one of these quarterbacks. I think Godwin is still going to get a ton of targets if he can stay healthy. I think he's the better target option for the way this offense is going to be this year. So I think, sorry, Mike, I think the streak ends for you.
Okay, Andy.
I mean, look, he's done it 9 years in a row. They have nothing. It's him and Godwin, right? They're going to both get plenty of targets. Maybe not great targets, but they're going to get plenty of them. But I'm gonna sell just because I don't want Mike Evans' name associated with Jerry Rice in the slightest fucking way. So he's gonna go under 1,000. I don't want him anywhere near Jerry Rice or this record. He's gonna come in at 990, and he can kiss my ass because he doesn't deserve that. So there we go. That's what
okay.
I'm going with.
I gotta know why you're a Mike Evans hater.
Oh, I'm not. I actually like.
I
like Mike Evans.
I don't know if that had something to do with Brady. Okay.
No, I do hate Tom Brady, but no.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking maybe his association had something to do with your hatred.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna buy this one. I think he's gonna go over 1,000 again. I think they're gonna make this a point to get him another 1,000-yard season, and then they're just gonna try to do it for at least 11 years in a row. You know, the thing with Mike Evans is he doesn't need a ton of targets because typically he only gets 70-something receptions a year, so he doesn't need it with that. To get his yardage. So, and you know, 1,000 yards, it's not really that much anymore with the 17 games. Right. So, all right, on to the next. Derrick Henry. Will he prove the doubters wrong and once again be a top 5 running back in points? Last season, he finished 4th overall in half-point PPR. Joseph, where you at with him?
Derrick Henry, I am buying. I still think Derrick Henry is going to be one of the league's top rushers, and I still think Derrick Henry is going to be one of the league top, one of the rushing top tight. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. One of the rushing touchdown leaders in the league. I think it's going to be a battle between him and Chubb for both these categories. I can't talk anymore, so I'm just going to leave it at that and let you go to the next person.
All right, Mike.
Got hypothermia out there.
Yeah, his tongue is frozen.
So I'm selling this. I agree with the things I could understand that Joe said. He's still one of the best running backs in the league. I still think he's going to have just as good of a season as he did last year. But when you look at last year, I have guys that are now, oh, Jesus, Andy. You can't hear a thing. I have
what kid?
Dude, one AirPod was playing Apple Music, the other one's playing you guys. How does that
the U2 album was coming on his AirPods.
Holy shit.
So last year he finished RB4 again, and then I think he's gonna have just as good of a year. But last year Tony Pollard had Zeke hindering him, so I think Tony Pollard's going to finish higher than him. Last year JT was injured, so with whether he plays on the Colts or if he gets traded, I think JT is going to finish over him. And last year the league didn't have Bijan in it, so I think Bijan's
Jesus
also
Christ.
going to finish over him. So that puts him at RB7. I actually have him ranked at RB9 because I like guys upside a little bit higher.
Joe left. Joe just walked away.
Joe abandoned.
I
making
can't
snow
listen to
angels.
this.
Yeah.
Can't
Go
listen
get some
to
hand warmers or something.
I had to go get.
You got some hot cocoa.
So that's my reasoning why he's not going to be a top 5 running back.
All right, Andy, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
I'm gonna sell as well. I have, Eckler, CMC pretty locked into my 1-2. I got Saquon, Bijan as my 3-4, just because I think they offer you more total yards with the receptions and stuff. And then I have that Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry as 5-6. But I'm more of a fan of Cleveland's overall offense. I like their offensive line a little bit more. I think Nick Chubb's a little bit safer than Derrick Henry. And then, like Mike said, there's a couple backs right behind him that do just a little bit. I mean, Derrick Henry got the ball in his hands. He's going to murder some people. He's going to stiff arm people into the third row. Like, great runner, but he doesn't really offer you much else, So if they're stopping the running game, which is tough to do against him, you're not going to get the receptions. You don't get the kind of gadget plays that you might get with other backs. So he doesn't offer quite as much upside if he's not just crushing people. And he's getting old. Running backs don't last long. He's got to fall apart at some point. He's huge, shots to the legs. They're gonna catch up to him at some point. I hope not, because I love watching him run. But I just feel like there's safer options inside that top 5. And I'm gonna have him right on the outskirts. So I'm selling it.
All right. Yeah, this is a tough one, honestly. Smart person must have came up with this question, but I'm gonna buy it. I think he's gonna do it. I think we doubt him every single season, and he's a machine. And I know he's 29, but he's built differently than all those other guys. Also, last year he had 33 receptions, which was a career high. Maybe they're gonna go towards him with doing that a little bit more as well. All right. Next option.
Real quick. Do you think Najee Spears is going to, not Najee, Tajay Spears is going to take away any of his time? Do you think they're going to lessen his workload just because he's getting a little older? Is that possible?
No, absolutely not.
No.
This team needs to win.
They drafted him in round 3, didn't they? Spears?
Doesn't matter. If they don't win now with him and D-Hop, they're not going to win. They got to start over at quarterback. If Tannehill, they're hoping Tannehill has one more good year left. You've just brought in D-Hop and Derrick Henry. You got to.
Yeah, I'm with Joe on that, but I mean, people are getting smoked. Like, there's going to be games that happens, and I think that's got to be a thought, right? Like, you have a 29-year-old back that's just been beating the shit out of people for 7-8 years. Like, maybe give him a break because the game's over. So, yeah,
agreed. I think we froze for a few seconds there, so I didn't hear everything you were saying, Joe. But I completely agree with all of it.
I think that was just Joe having a stroke.
Yeah, the speech issue was just the beginning of what was to come. All right. Next topic, DJ Moore. Will he finally have a season as a wide receiver 1? His best finish thus far was 18th in 2019, but he's got a new team, new quarterback. Is he going to finally do it? Mike, what do you think?
I'm selling this hard. Like you just said, his best finish was wide receiver 18. In that year, he had 1,175 yards. And his quarterbacks threw for 4,100 yards for him to get that 1,175 yards. Do you know how much How many yards Justin Fields threw for last year?
I think we spoke about that a couple
26.
episodes ago.
Yeah.
The Bears threw for 2,600 yards last year. Justin Fields had 2,200 of them. He missed 2 games. But I just don't think, in order for DJ Moore to get to the level of wide receiver 1, he's going to need like a 50% target share. And I mean, he's a great receiver.
He
Don't
might
get me
get there.
wrong. And he's going to be important to this offense. Like, I'm not writing him off to being key to this offense, but fantasy value, I just don't see him getting 1,200 yards on, even if it's 3,000 yards total this year.
Yeah. All right, Andy, what do you think?
We talked about this at the draft on Saturday. This guy's career has just been riddled by terrible quarterback play. Like, he's just, if he had a legitimate quarterback, he would have like probably Hall of Fame numbers. But he just cannot get a good quarterback, and it has nothing to do with him. But I mean, how does he get to a top 12 wide receiver? Like, what? I don't know. They have nothing besides Fields' ability to extend plays and run. I like Khalil Herbert. I like DJ Moore, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't see a way that anybody besides Fields is like too relevant. Like, DJ Moore will be fine, 800, 900 yards, handful of touchdowns, 80 receptions, great season, but not top 20. Yeah. So I'm selling.
All right, G Money, where you at?
I'm gonna buy. I
my
think Justin
God.
Fields is gonna have a big this year. I think with DJ Moore and I think Mooney healthy, I like the potential of this passing game being better this year. Cole Kmet's still a good option at tight end. I think hopefully this is the year Justin Fields proves that he can throw the ball. It's gonna be tough, but I think there is potential there with this offense, and I think DJ Moore is that talented that he can bring the best out of Justin Fields.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of what kind of Mike and Andy were going with. I love how you tried there, Joe. You did. It was a valiant effort. But
Somebody's got to be different, man.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I just don't see it. And again, it goes back to he just never had a quarterback. Justin Fields is gonna have to get a lot better at passing the ball for him to get into that wide receiver 1 range, and maybe they can do some gimmicky plays. Maybe DJ Moore can finally get a touchdown more often than he has in the past. But it's gonna be tough. I don't see it happening. All right, time for our scumbag section of the week here. We're gonna go with Tyreek Hill. And
I love it. Doug has no filter when it comes to the guys he just doesn't like as humans.
Well, that's why I was asking Andy about Mike Evans. Do you know something I don't know about him?
You ever see the video of him? That doesn't matter. We'll move on. Doesn't matter.
All right. So last year, Tyreek Hill had 1,710 yards. So buy or sell, is he going to have at least 1,750 this year? He's talking a lot of smack about getting 2,000 yards. So let's see if he can do it. Mike, why don't you lead us off?
I mean, I think I'm the biggest Tua supporter here, but even I'm not supporting Tyreek doing what he did last year again. That was incredible. I mean, he had 1,700 yards and Waddle had 1,350 on the year. That's 3,000 yards between the two of them. I think they could do that again this year, but I think it'll be split more evenly, 15-15. Waddle's coming into now his 3rd season. I think he's just getting better and better. And they're going to use him even more than they did last year. So I'm not saying Tyreek's not going to be a good receiver. Obviously he is. I just don't see him doing what he did last year again, because Waddle's going to be even more involved.
All right, Joe.
I'm selling all day. I have a hot take, and I think Waddle is going to have better numbers than Tyreek at the end of the season. I'm staying away from Tyreek in the 1st round, and there's certain spots I really like Jalen Waddle in the 2nd round, and I think he's going to outperform Tyreek this year. I think him and Tua had a really solid connection last year. He had the bigger numbers with Tua in, And I think that they've had a very good camaraderie at camp, and I think they're going to take it into the season. And Waddle's going to be the have the bigger numbers by the end of the season.
Mike, what were you gonna say?
You have Waddle ranked higher?
He's going to adjust those rankings. Let him adjust.
Yeah.
Them.
So no joke. I literally where they are when I sent it to you. No, there was things that I saw over the past week that I have put him higher on my big board. Tyreek wasn't that. Where was he on my big board?
When he gets back from the North Pole,
it.
he'll get to camp and check it all out. All right, Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell too. It's 1750 is just it's a big number. It's a very big number. They say it usually takes defense coordinators, defensive coaches a year to figure you out. So I think McDaniel's offense might get figured out a little bit more. I mean, in his division, he's got 3 defensive coaches, right? He's got Belichick, he's got Saleh, he's got McDermott. So I think those 6 games will kind of add up. They're going to play better competition this year, just because of how NFL schedules are made. So yeah, just 1750. I don't see. I'm not with Joe or Mike here. I don't think it's going to be an even split, and I don't think Waddle's going to be better fantasy wise. I think it's still Tyreek there as the number 1 guy, but it's just such a big number. I got to sell it.
Yeah, is this going to be the first one where we all are on the same page? Might be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
you're selling.
And it's not just because he's a dirtbag. It's also because it's such a high number. I mean, I'm not an idiot, complete idiot, at least. I know that Tyreek Hill is probably the most talented receiver in the NFL. But a guy that relies on speed as much as he does, was he 29 years old? Something like that. He's starting to get up there in age for a receiver. Waddle is super talented. Joe might not be that far off with his prediction. It could be interesting because Waddle and Tua had an amazing connection last year, and Waddle fell off big time when Tua wasn't there. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. Because what was their finish last year? Does anybody know that off the top of their head? I know Waddle was like a 7th finish, 7th overall, and I think Tyreek was like 2nd, right?
Yeah, that you nailed it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm that good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen again. I don't think he's got enough in him to have 2 top 10 wide receivers again.
I don't know. I think he can do that, but
because of how talented those 2 are.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with Tua.
I think Tua is good.
Little.
He's good enough. He's good enough to support how good they are. He's not an elite quarterback, but he's good enough to get the job done with elite receivers.
Okay. All right. And our next and final topic here, rookie tight end. We're going to talk rookie tight end. So will a rookie tight end finish in the top 12? Buy or sell? And Andy, go ahead and start us out. I got a feeling I know where you're going on this one.
Yep. I'm going to go. First off, we need to get some followers and some viewers here so I can buy some new AirPods because those things are pissing me off. Secondly, the Bills offense was fucking terrible on Saturday when we were at the draft. The Steelers brushed. Shut up, Joe. Their first team looked awful, but there was one bright spot, and that was Dalton Kincaid. He just looks so good, crushing the middle of the field.
The way you glow just talking about this man.
I feel so good inside, Doug.
Yeah, blushing.
Dude, it's awesome to watch. It is. When they said they drafted him to be Cole Beasley's replacement, and you can see he's obviously not there yet. There's a lot of nuance to that, but you can just see it. You can see the potential there, and the way they used him. I know it's preseason. I know they're trying to get the new shiny toy used. See what he's got out in live action, but I don't see a reason why he can't finish top 12. I don't see a reason why he can't have, 80 receptions this year. I really don't. So I'm buying this. Yes, a tight end can finish. A tight end 1. We all know I'm talking about Kincaid.
All right. Joe, go ahead.
I mean, I'm saying yes because I just think this is a very talented rookie tight end class. I mean, you got Kincaid, you got Laporta, you got Mayer, you got Musgrave. You got 4 guys at least who are highly talented players starting for their team at the beginning of the year as rookies. And I think if I had to pick one, I think your highest potential is with Kincaid or Mayer. And that's I favor Mayer over Laporta only because I'm a diehard Notre Dame and I've watched the guy every down in college and I've seen it firsthand. And when I watched him at Notre Dame, it was like watching a Gronk type tight end. And I hope he can translate that into the NFL. Also, too, Jimmy G had a guy named George Kittle who was a 5th round pick over in San Fran that had pretty good numbers. So I definitely think a rookie tight end can be a number 1 tight end in this league for fantasy this year.
All right, that's a good point. Mike, go ahead.
I'm selling it. I'm going off of what history has told me. In the last 10 years, there's been 2 rookie tight ends to finish as a tight end 1. Can you guys guess who they are? Any ideas?
I'm gonna guess one. Go ahead, Joe.
I thought you only go by like last season's numbers and stats usually.
That's one argument, Joe. One argument.
All right. I was gonna say, even though he didn't perform the way everyone thought he was going to, but was Kyle Pitts a top 12?
Kyle Pitts was tight end 7 his rookie year.
And everyone was thinking he was going to be like a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I don't know what the second one is.
It was, you guys give up? Want me to tell you? Andy, you got a guess?
Yeah, give us a second here. No, nobody's got a guess. Joe's looking it up. You can see the
Oh, I got nothing. If
right,
I had,
I'll tell you the team.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was the New York Giants.
Oh, Ingram.
Yeah.
It was Evan Ingram.
Yep.
You know what both of those tight ends have in common? They were drafted. They were drafted a lot higher than anybody in this draft class. It just,
really?
I mean, tight end position, it takes a while to get comfortable with your quarterback, get comfortable with the actual position itself, because you got a lot more than just receiving, right? You gotta know the defense, you gotta block, you're in for rushing. Well, most of the time you're in for the rushing down. So it's a lot more to learn on an offense for a tight end than just go catch the ball. And it takes a while to start producing for fantasy. So I think Dalton Kincaid, he has I don't know what that was, Joe. What was that?
I want you to spin the wheel.
We're spinning the wheel for this whole episode, Joe.
This is the entire episode we're going to bet on
talked about this.
Sure.
Yeah, we talked about this in the group chat.
A little bit we did, but
Andy?
basically
No idea.
very
Okay,
little, Mike, very little, but he did mention it.
All right, let me look back to where the hell was I in my argument? I completely forget. But no, I think Kincaid, at the end of the year, he can finish and he can get you to the point where you can become a starting tight end that you can use. But I think it's just going to take him so long to get there that he's going to finish outside of the top 12.
Well, you made the Pitts argument that he's, everybody talks about him like he's a tight end, but he's a wide receiver. But that's basically what they use Kincaid as for right now. They got Dawson Knox. He's not going anywhere. Kincaid they're going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. It's not him on the line. It's him split off.
I do agree with that, but I don't think Kincaid is going to come in his rookie year. And what did Pitts get? 1,100 yards his rookie year? I just don't see something like that happening.
Yeah, there's a lot more mouths to feed too in Buffalo. So I think that's
but you said Pitts was tight end 7 there. I bet you 7 to 12 was a big gap in yardage.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But I'm saying that Kincaid isn't going to get anywhere close to 1,100 yards.
But what I'm saying is, I bet you like 750 gets you in close to tight end 12, if not tight end 12.
750 would if you had 5-6 touchdowns.
And I could see Kincaid doing that easily, playing a Cole Beasley type position in that offense.
If he plays that the whole season full time, sure. It's going to take a while to develop. I don't think they're going to trust him. Like Andy said, he's not going to come out the gates and be Cole Beasley. They're going to integrate him a little by little. And
who can?
Maybe
really?
Shakir. Yeah, exactly. Shakir takes some of that away. Maybe Andy Isabella, right, Andy? Right?
Hardy.
Take some of that away. So
Andy Isabella. Yeah. All right. Well, a lot was said there, but I'm gonna also sell because I agree. It's just too hard for a rookie tight end right now. And I think there's a lot of mouths to feed in Buffalo, and in Vegas, where your boy Mayer is, right? Laporta could have a chance at it. They're going to be pass heavy offense, I think, too. But yeah, I'm going to sell that one. All right.
We need to revisit this spin the wheel thing because I would love to spin the wheel on this one. And
Well,
I
what we're
don't
gonna do-
understand how it works on all of them because it like
Well, I was gonna
some of them is 3
suggest
and
it's
1.
it's all we're gonna have to rewatch it and see where everybody voted, right? And then there's 10 of them. So whoever gets the most right, the other 3 have to do this. The winner doesn't.
I guess.
Do you have a particular one right now that you want to do, Joe? You were
No, I was
thinking
gonna
that rookie
spin it.
tight end one?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I want the rookie tight end one.
Let him do a rookie tight end one. Let's do it right now. Let's do a spin.
But
with
who's
that.
gonna take the other side? You or Mike?
Doug, you take this one. I've
I'll
taken
take this one.
every
I'll
bet
take-
so
all
far.
right. I'll take this one.
Spin it.
All right, do it.
Go.
All right.
Who's
This
on
is
the board with that?
strictly on tight end, finishing the year half PPR as a tight end 1.
Correct.
Correct? All right.
Rookie tight
You ready?
Rookie tight end, yes. Oh, the suspense.
no.
Oh my God. That'll
Oh,
destroy
no.
both of us, Joe.
I'm pretty sure he
That'll
stops
destroy
it at the
us.
bottom. He stops it at the bottom. He spins
Yeah.
it and then he
He
stops it.
definitely stopped.
I got
at
a
the
magnet
bottom.
on this thing.
He definitely stopped
think he
at
might.
the bottom.
I think he
we
might.
just
So-
had this conversation the other day
I
about how
can't-
we have the
You know how
most.
short my
chest-
fingers are? I can't stop
Uh,
that.
Not as short as your chest here.
So Mike landed on the chest hair waxing. Yeah, that oof.
All right, guys. Somebody's coming with either me or Andy. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can do it together. We'll
Two for
Yeah.
one.
it'll be a date.
yeah.
All right, let's spin it
That'll
for
be
the
nice.
full. Winner doesn't have to do this. The other 3 do. You ready?
Okay.
See, I'll put my hand. I can't hold it.
Yeah,
open
put your hand there
anymore.
and then just drop it down or
right,
back
good.
up.
What
Car
is that one?
wash.
Car wash.
Car wash.
All right. Are those the only 2 we've had?
Thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we already got
Yeah,
the
seriously.
We got the same ones.
All right,
over and over.
want to do a
Spin it
different one? That's a
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a lame bet
again.
for.
Yeah,
spin
I'm
it,
doing it.
spin it.
Needs
You gotta
be bigger than that.
recalibrate this thing.
Yeah, man. It's all the same things every time.
Oh, apparel.
I
We
like
all
that.
have to wear the winner's apparel.
That's a great one. That's a good one. I like it. For an entire
Bill's
episode, correct?
Yeah,
Bill's
it's
getting
gonna,
right around.
episode.
it's gonna end up being a playoff episode too. I like it.
We'll do one of the
Oh,
short ones for
wow. Joe won't care because his team won't be in the playoffs, but
that. Oh, Joe just got very serious and angry with that.
Well, say, Michael.
All right, boys.
All right, fellas.
All right. Good
that was
episode.
fun, guys.
A lot of fun.
Good times.
So for Andrew Garganese, Joey G Money Janolfi, Mike Rossi, I'm Doug By. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hot
Hey,
cocoa
guys.
time.